I don't feel like these are the end of these characters.
No, not at all.
I don't think the fans will allow it. You know, they won't allow it. Not for too long. But who knows? You know, who knows? It's always surprising, humbling, and rewarding. So we'll see what the next chapter will be.
I come this far and now it's like, oh, sorry, we're done. Yeah, it'd be kind of sad.
We've been through a lot to get to this point, but now we're finally on the same page. Now what could possibly go wrong?
Is today bittersweet? Is it fun? How are we feeling?
It's mostly sweet.
It's mostly sweet.
Yeah, it's mostly
and fun.
sweet. We put a lot of work in the last 5.5 months and put our heart on the mat, and this is great.
I love that quote, heart on the mat. I think the biggest difference this season, beyond it being the final season, is that it's a different kind of rollout. And initially I was like, oh, how are they going to do that? But it's more like a 3-act structure, which I think is really interesting. Can you talk a little bit more about what we can expect?
Yeah, each drop, you know, it's its own movie, if you will. It's its own little mini season, you know, and I think they all have a different feel to them and all building toward a satisfying finale conclusion, at least in the Cobra Kai chapter. You know, I look at it as more not the end of a chapter, not the end of the overall arc. But the first 5 episodes set up where we're going for the second 5, which is the big Sekai Taikai, the international kind of global, everything gets bigger, the competition gets better. We set up, you know, in Korea, some of the Cobra Kai students that are just look like our kids are going to have no chance against, and so it's setups and payoffs and then character evolution, so it's exciting.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to be pleasantly surprised with the way it lands. Each season, mini season is its own kind of movie and feels good leading to the next one, so I like the structure. It's better. I think it's better than dropping them all at one time and everybody chewing it up by Monday afternoon. I think it's good. It keeps
the party going.
Keeps the party going, and it's each story is its own story. Each season is its own mini story that overarches the whole season 6 all the way calling back to 1. So it's a great ending and it's a great lead up to it.
It's interesting because you guys have probably had this conversation before in the past about like, you're saying goodbye to these characters and now here we are. Mm-hmm. Ralph, we already know we're going to be seeing you again. I mean, is this truly the end for Johnny and for Chosen?
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, if it is, it's a great goodbye. I'm very pleased with the way it lands. But I don't feel like these are the end of these characters.
No, not at all.
I don't think the fans will allow it.
No.
You know, they won't allow it. Not for too long. But who knows? You know, who knows? It's always surprising, humbling, and rewarding. So we'll see what the next chapter will be.
Yeah, I hope it's not the end. I mean, I come this far and now it's like, oh, sorry, we're done. Yeah, it'd be kind of sad.
I mean, there's possible movie opportunity. Who knows?
Well, I hope so.
Ralph, I loved watching you watch your audition tape.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you tell me?
What?
That you knew karate.
I never asked.
Well, where'd you learn it from?
And the one thing I would tell my younger self, stop touching your nose so much. Every time I show my family, it's like, why are you touching your nose? Well, I was a little nervous.
What was it like watching that back? And do you guys remember your audition? And have you watched the tapes back?
I wonder where that tape is, because I remember John filming it, and I remember doing something.
It.
You own it? No. Well, I remember I did something on the audition that you're not supposed to do. Yeah. I remember grabbing John Avildsen out of his seat and being Johnny Lawrence and kind of throwing him into his seat. What you're not supposed to do is ever touch the casting director or the director, and then walking around to the door and ad-libbing some lines and thinking, oh my God, just threw John Avildsen, who directed Rocky, in his chair, and I'm some kid, you know. It was I would love to see that if that exists. If anybody ever digs it up, I would love to see it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. No, I haven't. But my experience was
you pulled a knife.
When I walked in, he said, "Don't touch me." I've had that happen.
Nemesis 2 references Nemesis
2 bodyguards by his
Yeah, it's
dangerous
it's
casting
truly
this show.
bittersweet to watch, you know. I mean, I remember when John Avildsen called me, he said, would you mind if I put your and Pat's first readings up on this internet thing? And he said, I'll send it to you first. And I watched it, and just like I watched it that day, you know, recently, you know, the kid was there. Like, the audition was, you know, not too far from what he was in the movie. So it just felt like And same thing with Pat. It seemed like these actors were born to play these parts. And so it's quite nostalgic, and it's always tough to look at yourself 40 years younger and then still have the current version of yourself up on the same screen. But I think the response to that, as you referenced, has been pretty positive. People have enjoyed it, and it just speaks to the legacy of the whole thing, and keeps it going for multiple generations. It's kind of unique.
Yeah, and you just wrapped the movie as well, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how do you describe this movie and this next chapter we're getting with you?
Yeah, it's more of who knows what's around the corner, but it never ceases to amaze me the embrace and the longevity and the ability that the story can continue. It's just for me and Daniel LaRusso and my responsibilities about playing the truth of the character. I did that when I started, and I've tried to do that throughout Cobra Kai and continue to do that in the new motion picture. And I'm excited to see. I can't talk too much about it,
Yeah.
because right now it's Cobra Kai launch time, but I'm sure we'll be back.